question 5. This is a commonly missed question. Where does the conclusion begin and end?
This to best.
Yes, exactly right. This would, however, be a temporary solution at best. And then you have a colon. And what comes after that colon is evidence as to why it's a temporary solution at best. The word this is very common in conclusions. It points back to something else that was stated before. In this case, it's referring back to what?
That humans colonize other planets.
Yeah, the solution to colonize other planets, right? So I would restate this conclusion in my head as the following. Colonizing other planets, however, would be a temporary solution at best. This is a main conclusion question, so all you have to do is then zero in on that, right? And answer choice E is the one that restates that. So that's the answer. Were we wanting to discuss any of the other answer choices? I think if you can find the main conclusion, the others are wrong because they're just other parts of the passage or they're inferences. They're not what's that saying.
Well, this is kind of a different question, but like, I found this to be like kind of like a longer and detailed passage. So like, I kind of always jump to read what the question is gonna ask. Like, hopefully it asks if it is a conclusion question. Is that a bad idea to do?
No.
Because it definitely saves a lot of time. You don't really have to read the whole thing. Because I knew just looking for the conclusion, you can kind of just skim. Well, at least for me, I was able to just skim and locate it.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I mean, I'd be careful there because sometimes.
Could be an intermediary conclusion.
Yeah, I just.
Intermediary conclusion.
I'd rather spend another 15, 20 seconds and just make sure I get it, and then get the question right. You know.
But like sometimes you just then find yourself like being concerned more with what's in the passage. Like, oh, let me make sure I understand the double every 30 years, blah blah blah. It's like that might waste even more time trying to really understand what they're saying. You know.
Yeah, I think for this particular question type, which is rare, it's easier to get away with not really understanding the passage. But a lot of main conclusion questions hinge on sort of two things that seem like they could be the main conclusion, and you really have to think about what they're saying and move beyond just the the indicator words, because they kind of drop them here. So I think that can work definitely sometimes. I don't have, your first question was, should I read that question first? I don't think that's a problem at all.
Right.
I think you're reading the passage, like, hold on, what is this? Oh, it's asking for the main conclusion. And then you can continue reading. But I don't know. I'd be a little hesitant to skim too much. It depends on what you mean by skim. Yeah, John.
The way you just said that at the beginning that a colon meant that everything else after it was evidence. Does a colon act at like the word because in that same way?
In the very few cases where we see it,
Right.
it has been that.
Okay.
So it's hard because it's only happened like 3 or 4 times.
Right, and
It's a rare formatting, but
Okay.
colon means equals, so it's sort of like, let me explain what I just said.
Okay.
So it seems, at least in all the examples I've seen, evidence.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, any other questions on this one? All right, so let's